On today's show, we're going to find out who won the competition to win either a copy of GH5 training or a full year's access to photoapps.expert. And it gets cut off. It got cut off for a very good reason. So before we get into the competition part, let me just update you on what's going on with this whole live stream here. Hopefully, with any luck, it looks a little bit different right now because we're finally at 60p. It took some doing. So I've been back and forth with Wirecast trying to, and I think that it just isn't working there because I fired up OBS, which I've never used before. Fortunately, it's fairly easy to set up, but I don't know. I mean, all I'm doing right now is a basic, super basic. It's just streaming. We got audio working about 5 minutes before we went live this morning. And it is, as far as I can tell, it should be 1080p 60. So you tell me the spastic arms moving around, they should look really smooth, really clean. It should look really, really nice. I think my exposure might be a little bit hot, but we might be okay. We might be okay. So you guys tell me, does it actually look like it's 1080p 60? You have to, if you're on YouTube, you've got to go to the quality settings, make sure that it's set to 1080p 60. Obviously, if you don't have the bandwidth for it, you can't. That's fine. But for those that do, please select that and let me know how it looks. I think it's looking really clean. So very quick kind of background story to the whole 1080p 60 transition. I really wanted to do it, I guess largely because I can. I mean, let's be honest, it's not required. It just sounded like a fun thing to do. Excuse me, I gotta get my ears up just a little bit louder. Here we go. It just sounded like a fun thing to do. And the reason that I'm at 24 normally, and that is 24.00 frames per second, not 23.976. The reason that I'm at 24 most of the time is because the computer was the starting point. Right, the computer obviously has to sync into the switcher, and the switcher requires everything to be the exact same size and frequency. There's no scaling built in. If you want to scale it, you have to do it before the switcher. And when I first started setting it up, I wanted to do regular 30p, which is 29.97, right? That's kind of what I wanted to do. But the Mac will sync at 30 hertz, which is exactly 30p, 30.00, not 29.97. And so without adding a converter to the Mac, I couldn't do that. And when I first started doing this, the Mac was that was the baseline, right? The computer had to look its best. Everything else came secondary because the whole point of this initial setup, and still to some degree was showing things on the computer, doing software demos. The Mac will sync at 60 hertz, at 30 hertz, or at 24 hertz. Well, 24 is exactly 24 frames per second. The switcher will do 24 exactly. It'll also do 23.98. It will do 29.97, but not straight 30. It'll do 59.94, but not straight 60. Okay, so we were standardizing 24. Everything else is synced into that. All of my cameras will go to straight 24. The computers can sync at straight 24. The only thing that doesn't go natively to 24 is the iOS device, which outputs 59.94, so that goes into a scaler. I've got this thing called a decimator. It does the scaling. It's worked perfectly. It's been all good. Over time, it was one of those things that we were playing around, and God, it'd be really cool to go to 60p, and I realized, hold on, well, 60p, as in 59.94, that's the native for the iOS, so that doesn't need the scaler. I can move the scaler to the Mac, and we could get it all working. And we did. Right? Everything was 60p. We got 59.94. When I say 60p, I mean 59.94. We got 59.94 coming off the main camera, the camera out in the studio, the close-up camera. The Mac is on a scaler, the iOS device syncs natively, and we're all good to go. One device down, though, the split screen that you would normally see with the comments, I only have one scaler, so that computer is not syncing to it. So that didn't work. But the biggest problem was I could not get a true 60p feed out of Wirecast. It would say during the live stream, it would say on YouTube that it was 60p, but honestly that's a checkbox, and I think once you check the checkbox, it assumes it's getting 60p. But once YouTube finished processing the footage, it wasn't 60p anymore because I'm assuming it just recognized, well, you weren't giving me 60p, so we're going to output what you actually gave me, which was 30. I talked to Wirecast, Telestream, the makers of Wirecast. I talked to them. We went back and forth. They had me run a bunch of tests. I was testing recording the output from Wirecast, and it was 30. We were not getting 60 no matter what we did. Now, they might still come back to me, where it's kind of an ongoing thing. They might come back to me with some other suggestions of things to try. Oh, and by the way, the interface that I'm using right now to get this video from the switcher into the Mac is the Epiphan AV.io, which does support 1080p at 59.94. That's working fine. Wirecast sees it, but it wasn't outputting the 30p. And so I fired up OBS, and within seconds of firing that up and plugging it and flipping a few switches, we're getting 60p out. And so we should be seeing 60p now. That's what you should be seeing. According to my test last week, everything works. Once it's recorded and saved, it does output 60p, and you can really see this when there's motion on there. Anyway, so that's all said and done. It should be working. It should be good, but I have to use OBS, which I'm not really familiar with, which obviously we could learn, but I only have one converter. I really don't want to buy another converter to get the other Mac up, so I think we're just going to go back to 24. Oh, the other problem I have is I can't record the show. My recorder, my Blackmagic recorder, doesn't do 1080p 5994, so that doesn't record. My Ninja does, but I'd have to route a separate signal. We're going to go back to 24 until we can go to 4K, and then things will change again. But that's where we're at today. So I'm going to look at the comments now. I'm just going to read them to you because I can't show them up on screen, unfortunately. And let's just see who's here this morning, and then we're going to do the Gleam.io contest. I am John Barker. Hey, good morning. Glad to see you here live. Rob Gianelli. Hello, Evaluated View. Thomas Engstrom from Bangkok. Thomas and I connected when I was in Stockholm this summer, and that's his home base. He spends about half of his year in Bangkok, and Thomas, that is fantastic. I love it. What a great city. I love Bangkok. Very envious right now. Adrian's saying it says 1080p 60. It should say 1080p 60. It's a question whether it looks 1080p 60. And hopefully, with all things being equal, it does. Just simply Brandon saying good morning at Pete's Coffee right now. What a good place to enjoy the show. Pete's is nice. The original second wave coffee house. I think that's right. Yes, the original second wave coffee house. Pete started the second wave. Go Pete. Dave Del Studio, good morning. Back from touring the Canadian Rockies. Ooh, with the GH5, well done. The footage is stunning. What a camera. The level of detail gives it a 3D look. Love it. Glad to hear that. Were you shooting in 60p? That's a great camera. It really, really is. Stuart says it looks fine via the iPad Pro. Does it look 60p on the iPad? Actually, I don't know if YouTube for iOS even does 60p. If you're on the new iPad, then you have a 60p refresh capability. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I don't know. Tell me, Stuart, more of what you're seeing there. Just simply, Brandon, what are your thoughts on the new Yontech Crane, not to be confused with the version 2? Audio just cut out, I'm being told. Well, I've got full audio here, so I have no idea. Nope, no, I'm good. I'm seeing my audios. Okay, and audio's back. Ryan's in my ear telling me the audio went out, but it came back, so hopefully we're good. Just simply, Brandon, is that the Crane 2? That is what Max Yuriev just did, right? Isn't that he just did a talk about it? I think I watched his video last week. I haven't used either of them, but watch his video because I'm pretty sure that's the one you're talking about, and he had some clear pros and cons of the new version of it. So it's really interesting to watch. I'm actually looking forward to trying those things out. SRO Digital says image is looking very clean, sharp, and smooth, reported as 1080p 60. If it's looking super smooth, then it must be 1080p 60. I also had to change the frame rate on the camera and change so that's why it looks different as well. It's not just the frame rate. I had to set the camera up to 120th of a second to accommodate 60p, and which meant opening up the aperture, which fortunately I had room to open that up, so we've got a little bit shallower depth of field than usual. So I might be, if I go back here or all the way here, it might be a little bit soft. You're interested to see if you can see that or not, but I think I'm a little bit brighter exposed than I normally am. But you tell me, does it look overexposed? Does white look overexposed? My preview monitor is not an accurate monitor, so you tell me what you think. And let's see here. Thomas saying it looked great, 1080p 60. Estro says no audio loss. Oh, that's good. And I'm Joe Barker says it looks like 1080p 60, but I think 1080p 24 looks nicer to my eyes. Yeah, that's a tough one, isn't it? Because some people, I think for those of us who grew up with film, 24p is what video should look, but not video, what film should look like. And then we look at video and it's 30 or 60 and it's too smooth, and we see a movie that's done in 60p and it's too smooth. But I kind of feel like once you get used to it, it's okay. And you tend to see the benefit. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's an experiment. It's a fun experiment, but that's where we are. Okay, before we go into the actual contest drawing thing, which is what we're going to do momentarily, I just want to remind you guys that today's show is powered by FidoNet.com. Whether you need a domain name, web hosting, or your own virtual server, FidoNet.com are the people to talk to. And to save 10%, be sure to use the code PhotoJoseph on checkout, and we will hear more about them momentarily. But with no further ado, Now, I've never used this competition thing before, so I'm going to hit the pick winner, and hopefully it's going to work, right? I don't actually know what's going to happen. But this, I'm using this thing called Gleam.io. It's pretty cool. And here's the competition. Here we go. Here's the finished competition. And it tells me we had 799 entries, which, all right, well, so it is what it is. And here's our winners. We go to our winners. And Sean is saying, with my new bifocals, I can see the shallow depth of field when you lean back and forward. That's funny. All right, here we go. So this is it. This is the big button right there. It says draw winners. 6 invalid actions. Oh, those are my test ones. We don't care about that. Draw winners. We click that, and why is this stupid Slack thing hovering there? Brilliant. Thank you. Let's get out of full screen. See if that helps. That is so annoying. That Slack thing keeps popping up on there and is definitely annoying the crap out of me. Draw winners? Seriously? Who puts this Slack logo there? Like, why is... Guys. And I tried this in 2 browsers, too. Oh, well. Winners draw 10. Allow repeat winners. No. I don't know what this is going to say right there because I can't see it. Oh, for crying out loud. Oh, well, let's just hit draw and see what happens. Drawing. 0, 19, 46%, 82%, 100%. And here's the winners. All righty. Winners are Andrew Burren, Neil O'Higgins, Walter Holt, Dave Files, Dennis McConnell, Greg Russell, Florian. Hey, Florian, you won. Wes Sutton, Eduardo Villagrana, and Jessica Smith. Jessica, you won as well. So a couple of regulars in there. That is fantastic. Well, there you go, guys. We will put a list of all the winners in the show notes. We will reach out to you all individually, of course, so that you can claim your prize. Remember, your choice is either the complete GH5 training course, 5.5 hours of training on the GH5, which even if you're not a GH5 user, but you are a Lumix user, you will still gain a lot from that training, or a 1-year access to the paid version, the paid membership of photoapps.expert, which allows you complete unfettered access to all of the live training that we do. And that's how that works. Fantastic. So thank you guys for participating in that. That was really cool. Let's see what else people are saying. People are talking about the camera stuff. So hopefully some of you guys are in here. I haven't seen Jess in here this morning. And Florian, I don't believe I saw you in here this morning either. But hopefully you guys get to see that and you see your name drawn out for real like that. That was kind of cool. Let's see, where are our winners coming from? Winners in Salem, Oregon, practically a neighbor. Belfast, a couple of Belfasters in the UK. Well, how did that happen? 2 Belfasters. Look at that. Austin, Texas, North Pallet, Nebraska, Fairfield, Australia. Awesome. Butte, Montana, Arlington, Texas, San Antonio, and Morrow. So a few different countries represented here. That is awesome. Well, thanks again, you guys. I'm super happy that you were able to enter and super happy that you were able to win. If you didn't win, I do apologize, but you can still go buy the stuff. So head over to gh5training.com or photoapps.expert and you can pick up what you need there. We're going to take a look at what else happened in the comments here. Before we do, let's just go back to talking about our sponsor. Today's PhotoJoseph's Photo Moment is once again powered by photonet.com. Whether you need a domain name, web hosting, or your own virtual server, photonet.com are the people to talk to. With access to more than 400 top-level domains, you are sure to find the right domain for your project. Or do you need to host a website? Photonet.com are specialists in web hosting. With more than 20 years experience serving websites, the folks at Photonet.com will be able to help you get your website online in record time and at an affordable price. Photonet.com, where those in the know go, and those who use the code PhotoJoseph on checkout save 10%. And do, please, guys, go check them out. Remember, as I was saying last week, even if you don't need a new domain right now, if you're already used to registering somewhere else, just give them a try. Check them out. Go to photonet.com, check it out, use that code, get a little discount, see how that works out for you, and maybe you'll say, you know, this is a better experience. Let's just move all of my domains over there, which is a good thing to do. All right, let's take a look back at the comments here, see what else people are saying. I think talking about the video stream. SRO Digital says, depth of field typically better focused as you lean back, shallower when you lean forward. Exposure may be up slightly, but it's fine by me. Okay, good to know. So exposure, I mean, I can't tell from here whether, actually, yeah, I can. That does look a little bit soft. It's definitely shallower depth of field. We're all the way open at f2.8 now on the 12-35 lens. That is what's on that camera right this moment. Let's see here. Dave Del Studio, which lens would you like to see Panasonic produce? Oh, that's a good question. Ooh, that's a good question. I'm thinking a 40-150 fixed 2.8 Leica. Oh man, that'd be huge. That would be a really big lens. Now, do you really want a lens that big? I know Panasonic have said 50-200 is in the pipeline, but variable aperture. Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay, cool. 50-200, that's a good range, but again, yeah, that's variable aperture. If straight aperture, constant aperture, that'd be huge. I wonder. Daddy MCC says, I just got on to see recapping the winners and saw my name. All right, Daddy MCC, very good. Congratulations. Ooh, if I could get Panasonic to do any lens, wow, that is a tough one. I would like to see a refresh of the 25 mil, but at a faster aperture. Something like my, one of my favorite lenses here, this Yongyi 25 mil f/0.95. I'd love to see this in an autofocus stabilized version. I love this focal length with this aperture. I think it's a beautiful lens, a beautiful, really, really shallow depth of field. But because it's all manual, it can certainly be a challenge. Having that with autofocus could be a quite nice addition. I think that would be fun. I'm really happy with the portrait. Maybe a longer, even fixed focal length, not zoom, a longer fast lens like a 100 millimeter f1.2 or 120 millimeter f1.2 or 1.5, something like that. It would be big. It'd be big, but that'd be really good for the sports guys, getting that really long, super shallow depth of field. Go up against something like the 300-2.8, that's just a ubiquitous sporting lens. That'd be pretty good to have. I think that'd be good. I think that'd be good. I think that'd be good. All right, Tyler says, whoever replied to my comment on iPhone 10, I accidentally reported your comment when I tried to reply. Sorry. I don't have any control over that anymore, so if somebody's comment got reported, Tyler is personally apologizing to you. All right. I think that's it. We're going to wrap this up. So look, we are, I keep getting told from Ryan that the audio is dropping out. You guys tell me if you're hearing audio drop out or if it's just on Ryan's end, which would be really weird if it is. All right. Tomorrow, this is going to be a weird week. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do tomorrow yet. I've got a couple things that I want to do, but it depends on what else happens today. I was supposed to have a shoot today, but the client kind of disappeared. So I guess I'm not shooting today, which is fine because I have to get ready for the trip. I leave Wednesday morning. I will do a live show Wednesday morning, but it will be from the road, possibly from the car or something, because I will just have gotten into the Bay Area. So we'll figure that out. It'll be like a Mevo Live. Thursday, I will be going live from the IBM broadcast studios where we're going to do our show, and I'll kind of do a behind the scenes live there. And just in case you're wondering what in the heck I am talking about, that is this. So I'm doing a webinar with IBM on Thursday. It's Thursday morning. I think the webinar is actually at 11 a.m. Pacific. It is all about professional live streaming from cameras to encoders. As you can see there, it's sponsored by, or it's hosted by IBM, and it's sponsored by Panasonic and guesting myself. And if you haven't registered for that yet or haven't seen it yet, this is just an online webinar. It's totally free, yada, yada. Go. There's a link down below in the comments, in the, show notes. Also, we'll put it in the comments as well. Ryan, let's make sure we put that as a first comment and pin that comment. And we'll put a link in there so that you can quickly register for that. So please do register for it. Check it out. It'd be lovely to see you there. I actually don't know how interactive the thing's going to be. I'll find all that out Wednesday when I get there for the rehearsal. And then Friday, I'll be at Sammy's Camera in Fairfax. And on Saturday, I'll be at Image One Camera in Riverside, California. So if you are in either of those areas, again, scroll down, you'll see registration notes for that, and you can sign up for those and come on in. It's going to be a lot of fun. And so, yeah, so Friday is a travel day. I might be flying right during the flight, so I may have to skip the show on Friday, but we'll see what happens. And then Saturday's thing is actually going to be also live streamed, so we'll see if it's just going to go to their channel, if I simultaneously stream it to mine or whatever. Who knows? Just stay tuned. You know the routine. Make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell to get notified, all that good stuff. A couple people are saying you're seeing intermittent drops in video and audio. Yeah, and that could be the 60p, that could be OBS. I just don't know. There's too many unknowns right now. We're going to go back to the way it was. It was working perfectly fine before I screwed with it. Although, all that said, Epiphan has sent me, we'll get it this week, we won't have time to mess with this week, on loan, the AV.io 4K, and we're going to find out if we can pull 4K out of this system and stream through Wirecast, which would be very exciting to see. Yeah, that'll be fun to test out, find out. Marco says that Epiphan's Webcaster X2 got an update today and works really smoothly now. Good. Very glad to hear that. Very glad to hear that. Excellent. All right, guys, we're out of here. There's going to be no flying up Foursquare thing like normal, so I'm just going to go quiet for 20 seconds. What the heck? Just start throwing up the things. Ryan, they're coming up. It's, you know how it is. Click one of these things here or there or something, and we'll call that the show. Hey, guys, thanks a lot. Hope you have a great week. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.